I'm fixing to make my homemade chocolate ice cream. It's a milk chocolate. It tastes kind of like a Wendy's Frosty. And this is how I do it. You're gonna need 5 eggs. And if you notice, I have 6 because some of mine were Banty eggs and they were a little small. So 5-ish eggs. You need a can of Eagle brand or some sort of Eagle brand condensed milk and 2 cans of evaporated milk. We're gonna need a box of chocolate pudding. I like the Hershey's milk chocolate. You need 1.5 cups of sugar. You're gonna need 2 teaspoons of vanilla and 4 cups of chocolate milk. So I'm just fixing to dump this all in the bowl and whisk it up, and then we will put it in the ice cream freezer. Okay, I have everything mixed up except for the milk. And the reason is I'm gonna pour this in my ice cream churn first because I have an 8-quart churn. So you may not have one quite as large. I said 4 cups of chocolate milk, but you're just gonna add it to the level that's marked in your freezer. So pour all of this in first and then we'll add milk to fill it the rest of the way up. Now you don't wanna go all the way to the top because as it spins, it's gonna fluff it up. So I usually like to fill mine about 2/3 of the way up. Yours should say it in the instructions how much to fill it up. Some of them even have a little line in there, mine doesn't. And like I said, you'll add the milk to wherever you need it. I've done this recipe before in this canister, so I know that mine takes 4 more cups. And mine is, about this full. So I'll show you when it will get done how much it rose. All right, let's put the lid on it. And then we're gonna go out to the porch and turn it on. You're gonna need ice cream salt. You're gonna need ice, which I have. I've got my bucket and then the motor that goes on top. So first put your canister down in your bucket, and there's usually some sort of little knob that fits just in the center or something. Okay, now before you put your ice in, put your motor on. You don't have to plug it in, but you want it to fit. And if you get that ice in there, sometimes it's a little off kilter. So now we're ready to put some ice down in here. And I'm fixing to have to turn it on. So let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a little bit of ice and some layer of salt. Ice, salt, all the way up to the top. Because when I turn the motor on, you're not gonna be able to hear me. I like to cover it up with a towel when it's hot. That helps keep it colder. That's what the rock salt does. And how do you know when it's done? When the motor shuts off. So when it shuts off, we'll come see what the ice cream looks like. So when it stops, you know it's ready. So we're gonna take the motor off. We unplug the motor, take the motor off, and it is on there. And then we're gonna lift this up. Some people like to let it sit in here for about 10 minutes, but it's hot out here, so I'm gonna go take it in and put it in a bowl. Okay, here comes the great reveal. Oh, that looks delicious. Okay, let's get this out first. That's gonna be really good. So we shall scrape it all off. You have to work quickly here because the quicker you can get it into the freezer, the better your consistency will be for getting it out later. You don't want it to melt. And right now it's like soft serve consistency. So this is when a lot of people like to eat it. The first bowl is always the best. Okay, now to get it out of here. And then before I put it up, I like to give it some really good stirs and then pop the top on it, stick it in the freezer, and you have the most wonderful frosty chocolate ice cream. Do y'all have an ice cream freezer? Let me know what size yours is, because maybe I can adjust the recipe for the smaller freezers. And I said this was a 6 quart, but really, I mean an 8 quart, but really it's a 6 quart, okay? I will see y'all later.